Hello and welcome along to Season 7, Episode 2 of The Head Coach with me, Daniel. We're back for the first game of our League One season following relegation from Salford City. We're trying to put behind us the nightmare of last year, our first sacking of the series from Charlton after taking them to the Championship playoffs the year before, and then the relegation that was pretty much inevitable with Salford. But now we've got to try and rebuild, make the playoffs with a side that aren't expected to by the media, otherwise we risk losing a second job in 2 years. Not the start we really wanted. For those of you who haven't seen it yet, please do click back in the eye above to catch up with a transfer special. You want to know who's going to be the new signings in the squad today, which players you won't be familiar with, which ones have moved on over the summer of course, and why we're a little bit short in certain areas still, and why there's all that money sitting in the bank but not much for us to spend on transfer and wages. That's probably the most frustrating thing at the moment. But firstly, a massive thank you to everyone who continues to follow the series and the new season as we're back from the 4 days off. If you're looking forward to today's video, please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know in the comments early on, where do you think we're going to finish this season? Do you think it's all going to come crashing down in today's game? You of course saw our new tactic and the dynamics in the last episode too, so you'll have a rough idea of what to expect from today. And we're playing against a side who finished in the bottom half last year. Very quickly before we get into it, if you haven't already, please subscribe for daily FM20 content from 2 long-term stories. We're back with our daily videos, providing any more slight interruptions from my NHS job, but generally we'll have videos out quite regularly now. I'm 2 or 3 days ahead, so I'm back in the move now, and hopefully we'll have videos all of this week. So both stories reaching a crucial point. The last 2 days, of course, 2 big transfer specials in both series. So 2 days ago we had our one with Salford. Yesterday we had our start of season one with Dorking Wanderers, and there'll be 2 more lots of transfers to come as we haven't reached deadline day in either yet, so hopefully we'll be able to get a few more in. Of course, the difference in this one is we don't have any say in them, and that's caused a bit of a problem with our club vision as well. As we mentioned in the last episode, the board are very disappointed with us not signing under 23s. We can't do anything about it. It's the hardest thing about this game. You take the flak for what the director of football doesn't do, and in this series we're doing it no more. We had it with Charlton and we've had it with Salford, and I feel like it's going to be our undoing in our rise to the top. But either way, we've got to get into our first game of the season. AFC Wimbledon at home, and then we've got Rotherham away if we can get that far as well. Lots of big games coming up in the first month. And then of course Preston, last season's opponents. We've got them in the leasing.com trophy and the league at the start of September, as well as what I presume will be a chaotic transfer deadline day around there. We've also got Lincoln in that group and Derby under 23s. What I don't understand is how 2 of the relegated clubs from the Championship both end up in the same group in that. Doesn't really give us a great chance. But either way, we're going to worry about the first game of the season. No players out for us or Salford. Everyone fit, so let's go and get into it. We're expected to finish 8th, despite being expected to reach the playoffs by the board. So let's go and see if the media or board are right, and see if we've got reason to be optimistic this season. We'll also see if our new tactic's going to work. We'll see how well that beds in the first time as well. A couple of players not in their preferred duties. We don't have too many options there, just because a couple of players aren't to fitness yet. And of course, while we wait for that loan deal for Archie Dixon to go through, who we looked at in the last episode, we're still a little bit short in central midfield as well. So the transfer listed Ryan Jack comes in for today's game. He's declining massively at 33 now. But into today's game, we're going for a positive tiki-taka mentality, trying to get on the front foot and dominate the game immediately, create chances, put pressure on teams. It's a completely different tactic to last year where we were just trying to survive, to be honest. But this time around we've got 4 players on attacking duties, all up in support of the front man, and then we've got 2 fullbacks, 1 looking to overlap down the left, 3 good central midfielders too, very similar to our Charlton tactic last year. So our lineup for today sees 2 debutants from last year. There's another 3 on the bench I think. So the debutants in the starting 11 are Porter the right back, and then George Grant the left winger coming in for Carl Edwards, who was sold of course. And then on the bench we've got Sid Nelson, Adam Randell and Bailey Clements the backup left back. So we're trying to give a little bit of continuity for now, but we do know there's going to be further changes as we go on. So Horgard's in goal, he's the experienced man at the back. Porter the new signing, and Field the fullbacks. Beresford staying on loan for another year. He's alongside Ross Sykes at centre half. Ben Close in a holding role, dropping in that midfield 3. He's going to try and be our Selnays as we had at Charlton. Williams in the middle with Ryan Jack as a one-off. Lucas Smith going over to the right rather than up front, trying to use his pace, get early balls in the box, and hopefully attacking the back post for Grant's balls as well. So let's see if that works as we go into it. Grant the new signing on the left-hand side. A little disappointing for the money we spend, but still a very good player at this level. And then Connor Chaplin back to fitness up front, but I doubt he's going to last 90 today. So in we go for our first game of the season against Wimbledon. Get your comments down below. Are we going to win this game? Where do you think we're going to finish this year? A couple of the new lads not up to fitness yet, but let's see if we can start the season in style. fail. Okay, we're into the first game of the season. It's a 4-4-2 for AFC Wimbledon. I've got to say, I hope this isn't a sign of things to come in this series. We've still got all the leagues loaded. I can't really take them off because we're creeping back down the pyramid, but that game took nearly 3 minutes to load up. It's not a terrible computer, it's pretty decent, so I'm not quite sure what's caused that. We've got one familiar face in the opposition side, bright AFC Samuel, who we briefly had at Charlton when we joined the club. Only made 3 or 4 appearances for us there though. And Zach Clough in the number 10 role. We recognise him from being at Bolton and Forest in the past. A very good young player he was in this game once upon a time. They've also got the likes of Dembele on the bench, currently at Peterborough in real life. A lot of young players defensively as well. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing at this stage. We've got a lot of young players ourselves, 2 regens in the back 4, so we can't really talk. But let's go and get into the first game of the season. 2 new signings, can they make an impact? Can we get a big fans on board? If we can get them and start filling the ground again, of course it'll be a very successful season. But let's encourage the lad and get into it with our new tactic, and hopefully the first half will be a strong performance at home. 15 minutes and no shots for either side. Is that what we were hoping for? It's a throw on the right with Porter though, a slight lag there for some reason. Chaplin back to the edge to Porter again, finds Williams, now Ben Close. Back to Porter, we're on the front foot, we've just got to find that through ball. Out to Field on the left, beats a man, inside to Grant. The new signing, he's got a chance, shoots just wide of the post, into the side net, and he nearly had an immediate impact there, and nearly shut me up very early on. But with 15 gone, it remains 0-0, and neither side have yet had a shot on target. We're back almost immediately after though, a throw on the right for Porter again, plays a 1-2 with Chaplin who keeps drifting wide, in towards Grant, loses out in the air, falls for Ryan Jack 25 yards out. Close does a really good switch of play, Porter from the byline into Chaplin, hits the bar and then cleared away. The keeper was beaten but it's behind for a corner. Tom Field will take it, an out-swinging delivery to the back post, is straight at the keeper. It's so easy to claim, you've got to be better than that. I've no idea why Chaplin keeps drifting so wide, but with half an hour gone it's still 0-0 and things are looking pretty solid for us so far. 2 minutes to the break, Tom Field with a corner at the front post, headed away as far as Beresford, the centre half. He's got Field back out there, an in-swinging delivery. Jack heads, oh, it's against the post. It's dropped across goal, the clearance doesn't go either. Here's Chaplin and again put wide again, and we're still yet to have a shot on target, but we've hit the woodwork twice in the first half here. But it doesn't change the fact no shot on target despite dominating against AFC Wimbledon, and it looks like we're not going to score goals easily this year, and I just can't get a one-striker tactic to work. Right, half an hour to go. We've changed one of the tactics. We've taken off the work ball into opposition box. It seems like clear-cut chances are a problem this year. Not that we've created any today, of course. Oh, you're joking. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the fact we've let in a free header and we're losing at home to AFC Wimbledon. Why on earth are we so toothless? We're playing good football. We're not playing slow possession football. We're playing a bit more direct. We've got the medium mentality, medium tempo, medium passing range as well. We're not trying to work the ball into the box. No one really has a shot though. So George Grant's coming off. He's anxious on his debut. I told you he's going to be a flop from the start. And then Lucas Smith knackered on the right. Zach Brown, an attacking winger, on for him. Of course he's naturally a striker really, and Chaplin's knackered up front at 2, but I haven't really got an option for him. And then Charlesworth will come on for Ryan Jack, central midfielder. He'll play on automatic for now. He's defensive really, but I can't go that deep, not when we're already losing the game. And into the final 25 we go. It looks like this is going to be a very long season for us. Well, we've had to go back to work ball into the box because now all of our shots are going wayward. I've no idea what the right thing to do is. Beresford's made an error back there. Does recover. You've got to be fair with that tackle. Falls for Lug on the right though. AFC Wimbledon a threat on the counter. AFC Samuel's still keeping it up there. And we're defending awfully in this game. And it seems to be the thing that's cost us so far. And I don't know why we're quite so toothless in attack. Can you let me know down in the comments what's wrong with the tactic? It seems to be fairly simple. What we use with Charlton to reach the playoffs. But it isn't having a good time here with Salford. And we don't look like scoring at any stage in this game. I know we've hit the woodwork twice, but they were from headers and lucky breaks. There weren't really anything that we sliced open in open play. It looks like we've been pretty toothless in that regard. With 5 to go, we'll go very attacking, pump the ball into the box, but it doesn't look like it's going to cause anything. I think we're going to lose our first game of the season here. Well, that's pathetic. I've no idea what to say about that. Toothless performance. Don't even look like scoring. In pre-season, we've been solid. That was absolutely woeful, though. What do we do about that? I mean, we've got the tactics set up right. It worked with Charlton. We've got very similar players here. I know we've got an advanced playmaker coming in that will change it a bit, but I have no idea what to say there. We looked absolutely useless in front of goal. We didn't look like creating good chances. The lads are fired up, but that's not good enough. We're going to get the sack from this job as well. I can already tell it. The first game of the season is always the bit where you get the optimism, and there is a lot of things that have concerned me in that game. Defensively, we looked all at sea, despite the fact Peresford and Sykes played together the second half of last year. Hallgard behind them was there as well, as was Field, the left back. There's no excuse in terms of familiarity. 9 of the players started the end of last season, so I'm a little bit concerned. I'd appreciate suggestions because I have absolutely no idea at this point. That has baffled me that we're that bad going forward. Not to create chances is the problem. We had it with Charlton. We had some games where our strikers weren't on form. They weren't clinical. They weren't scoring. We've even had it with Dorking in the other save. But to not create chances in this tactic is worrying. The fact that when we did, we were then shooting from miles out, I'm very concerned. I can't lie to you, I'm really worried about this season, and I've got a feeling we might get a second sacking on our CV. Okay, so the bad news is compounded by the fact that most of the promotion favourites won. Ipswich probably an exception, but Sunderland, Wigan, Pompey, MK Dons, Peterborough and Preston all won their matches. There's no one up there apart from Doncaster who lost. They lost by 1 more goal than us. Who did they lose to? Doncaster lost at Wickham, so that's a bit of a good result for us. Ipswich lost at Scunthorpe. Eddie Flanagan still going strong there. He's a very good player and developing well as well. But aside from that, we're in big trouble here at Salford. Let's see what the media said about the game. Unlucky in defeat, but how can you say unlucky? We've not even made an opportunity there. We've not really looked like we're going to score. Yes, Wimbledon only had 4 shots, but 2 of them were clear-cut chances because of our poor defending. We hit the woodwork twice and otherwise looked toothless. Middlesbrough made an offer for Owen Jack, 400 grand. Why have you rejected that? That's a brilliant offer for a 33-year-old. His action isn't good enough. He's not following the club culture. So we're going to skip ahead to Wednesday. We're not going to play the game against Rotherham, but I want to see if Archie Dixon signed by then, just to give me a little bit of optimism. And we'll see if any more offers have been made for players, just to give you a bit of an insight into the transfer window. We're halfway between that crushing performance and the next game against Rotherham. We finally have some good news. Dixon, who's just signed for Leeds for not 700,000 from Reading, he has gone on and joined us on loan. 3-star ability, 5-star potential, a proper solution to our central midfield crisis. 2.5 grand a week, not a big wage contribution at all, and more importantly, he's under 23, so it gives them some hope that we can meet them objectives. Chris Casper finally signing a player that meets the board club culture. He's our best central midfielder. We'll come in for Ryan Jack immediately. If we go and have a look at that, why's Carlo Nash judging them? 2 for ability and 4 for potential. Let's go to Richie Barker. He thinks he's the best at the club too. So that's exactly what we wanted. What does that do for the club vision there? Very disappointed still though, because he's the first one that's under 23 apart from Porter. So we need to get another one in. Let's see now Dixon signed. Will he make another offer before the next game? And then we'll leave it there before we face Rotherham, hopefully to avoid yet more disappointment. Well, Chris Casper's really starting to annoy me now. A hive of inactivity. He's done absolutely nothing since Dixon joined. In the outs, he's been very busy in getting rid of our squad. 1 more youngster who's left the club on a permanent. He wasn't very good, so no problem there. 3 youngsters leaving on loan, including Sam Taylor. Probably good enough to play in the first team, to be honest. But he's gone on. He's going to Cheltenham for the year, so we're not going to have him available this season either. Ryan Jack will be replaced by the new signing Dixon. Jack will then go onto the bench possibly for this game. But otherwise, that's not a big improvement. Not enough for the squad. We still need 2 or 3 more. We need some youngsters injected in. There's just so many experienced players in this team. So hopefully we'll have those by the next episode. If we go and have a look at the schedule, when will we next be back? We'll do it around the end of the transfer window too. So maybe we'll do the Preston League game at the start of September. Possibly the Peterborough one just before. But one of those games we'll be back for, as well as transfer deadline day. So I do hope you'll come and join me in a couple of days for that one. Fingers crossed we can stay on schedule again now. A massive thank you for joining me since we came back at the weekend. I really do appreciate your support. If you haven't already, please do put a thumbs up on the video. It makes such a difference to how it performs, and I can't thank you enough for it. I know we started the season with disappointed and a pretty limp performance in truth, but hopefully we'll be able to get back to winning ways. We're going to lose our job pretty quickly here. Whether we like him or not, we desperately need Chris Casper's help, so hopefully on deadline day we'll be a hive of activity in the next episode. Make sure you come and join me to find out if that's the case. In the meantime, let me know in the comments, what tactics should we play? What can we do to improve on that attacking display? Defensively, it just looked like individual errors. We didn't actually concede too many chances. But going forward, the lads were all at sea, and we didn't look like scoring by the 2 that hit the woodwork. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for daily FM20 content from my 2 long-term stories. This one back in 2 days' time with transfer deadline day, as well as another big game from League One. And then tomorrow we'll have our Dorking Wanderers series, our first game of the season in that one, following the transfer special yesterday. So make sure you're up to date with that series in the eye above. You can find the link to the whole playlist there. There's also a link to our matchday vlogs from our football podcast. We also do interviews and silly little series as well. So make sure you go and check them out. There's a new interactive series, You Are the Ref. Quite a good laugh. We just have a bit of fun with that one. And there's also some more serious chats on there as well. Of course, as well as going to football, once we're back with professional games, we have gone to some non-league games recently, and there's some vlogs from earlier in the year on that one. So hopefully that'll keep you going while there's no live games on TV. But most importantly, stay safe in the meantime. A massive thank you for watching this one as always, and I hope to see you next time for another big episode here as we try to hang on to our job and hopefully get some signings to help us up the league.